I knew he was the one.
How me and your dad met.
Because if you have friends that are as stupid as you, gonna forever be a dummy.
That was a good time.
Guessing you was in this little challenge. Like, what was that about?
And I was like,
Well, you know, that's just how I feel about you.
check my DM. I get a,
Hey, girlie.
You took him back? You took him back?
what do you mean, hey girly?
You're a dummy.
And we did fight. We did fight. And y'all just gonna have to check out part 2 because what?
Do you know what's going on over here? I do.
I'm just gonna start off this video saying this.
If a man shows you who he is one time, believe him 7 times. Please believe him. Believe him, believe him, believe him.
If you refuse to believe him, you'll suffer the consequences that I did. Fuck that. All right, so let's get into it because y'all know I got to get ready for the day while I tell y'all this story. So let me tell y'all how me and this little boy met. First of all, this boy was younger than me. That's the first red flag right there. Like, I had never talked to, entertained nobody that was younger than me. I don't know what told me to give this boy a chance, but I just did because I was just bored. The last boy that I was with, he broke my heart, tore it to pieces, and then continued to torment me and lied to me about it. So I knew I had to get back by just talking to all these random people of different varieties from different schools, different ages, different sizes.
I was just doing anything.
I recommend doing that? No. But would I do it again? Yes, because a man will distract you from another man. It was a typical love story just like everybody else. He followed me. I went on his page. I'm like, who is this? I looked on his page. I realized we barely even had any mutuals. I knew he was the one. I followed him back and, you know, I knew he was just cute. I asked my cousin about him. Girl, who is this? And she was just like, oh, it's one of like her friends' past talking stages. But, you know, it wasn't nothing serious. Like, it's over. I was just like, oh, okay.
When fine shit follow you,
That's when you really got to get to work.
that's when you really got to get to work. You start posting selfies. You start liking his old highlights.
Well, actually, I wasn't doing all that. But that's what you do.
You start imagining a life with him that you've never even had. You don't even know his name.
And he fell for the trap. Posted some ugly selfie of me. He literally slid up with heart eyes within like 30 minutes, y'all. That's how I got my man.
And that's how me and your dad met.
He slid up and he was just like, oh,
You look really beautiful. You look real gorgeous. What's your name?
I was just like,
My name's Julianne.
he asked me what school I went to, how old I was. I was like, oh, I go to this school. What about you? He was like, I go to this school. I'm like, that's perfect because I don't know nobody that go to your school. He asked me for my number and we start getting on the phone. This is how our calls would go on the phone, y'all.
So what's your favorite color?
I like aquamarine and pink.
You know, yeah. You want to help me pick out my next hairstyle?
Yeah, sure. So where would you like to go on a date? Like,
That's how these boys really act. They'll act like they're all big and they're not even half of what they act like they are. High school talking stages was really something for the books, bro. I would be on the phone every school night, wake up, my man was still on the phone. Like, we would go to sleep on the phone, we would watch movies together. That was my heart right there. Like, he'd be on a game, I'd just be doing whatever I was doing.
That was a good time.
So one day, we was just on the phone kicking it like usual. And remember, only person that really knew this boy, at least that I thought knew him, was my cousin. And remember my cousin's friend that used to talk to him way back when. One day, I was on the phone with my man. We're going to call my man CJ. That's what we're gonna call him. I was on the phone with CJ and we were just chatting it up like usual. Like, we was getting ready to even go to bed. We was doing night routines. Like, I was brushing my teeth. Still on the game, but he was getting ready to pack up. Like, that's just what we was on, y'all. CJ wasn't first place. Like, he was like my heart. But I was talking to other guys. They also thought that I was their heart, but I really wasn't. CJ was really mine and I was really his. Around that time, there was this little like challenge or little trend. It was like, I'm trying to F, basically. Of course, y'all know, like, I was talking to multiple guys at the time, so when they asked me who did I want to put, I even forgot about really getting caught up for real. Like, I wasn't even thinking about that like a dummy, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna put my number 1 because the other boy that I was talking to went to the same school as me, and I didn't want the people at school to be like, oh, you talked to him? People didn't know CJ at that time. I decided to show a picture of CJ for the TikTok because they asked me to be in it and I wanted to be in it. Like, what? So I showed CJ and the TikTok ended up getting like a couple thousand views. I'm not thinking anything of it. Like, it came on my For You page, and once it came, I liked it, I scrolled, and I passed it. That was it for me. Like, I wasn't dwelling on it or nothing. But turns out,
Some girls was.
I ended up getting caught up. Like, the other boy that I was talking to, we gonna call him DeAndre. DeAndre gonna text me, and DeAndre's like,
oh, so I see you're with somebody else. You're posting that you want to do stuff to someone else. I seen you in this TikTok. Is this true?
the way I had to lie to get out of that.
That's for another story time.
Don't be like me. Be better than me. CJ had ended up seeing the little challenge video, and he was like,
I seen you was in this little challenge. Like, what was that about?
and I was like,
Well, you know, that's just how I feel about you.
just lying, because I had to literally lie my way out of something else to the boy that I also really like. So it was just like I said, y'all, be better than me. Don't be like me. So like I said, y'all, that's what we was talking about on the phone as we was getting ready for the night. So as that's happening, my cousin texts me and she's like, hey, did someone text you? I just ignore it because, baby, I'm not looking at nothing but what my man is doing on the game. Like, I'm not worried about none of that. Like, y'all, I was just stupid in love.
That it ain't me here. I don't know why I'm sizing it up. I was Nilo, that boy. I was playing him like a dog. I had a roster, but he was just a part of the plan. And I had a platform. Back to the story.
That's when she calls me. Oh, I pick up the phone, and keep in mind, y'all, this is like week 3 into the talking stage. Like, we didn't even get that far. She called me. She was like, check your DM. I check my DM. I get a,
Hey, girlie.
what do you mean, hey, girly? How is you cool? Why are you even messaging me? I don't know you from nowhere. She talking about some, hey, girly. Bitch, bye. I was distraught. So I'm like, oh my gosh, it's no way like I'm getting a hey girly text right now. So she's like, you need to respond to this text because this girl said that she was gonna text you. She's really weird. Like, you just need to be careful. And in my head, I'm like, how do you even know that this girl was gonna text you? But I'm not asking no questions. I'm just listening to my cousin because my cousin like is really popular. So she was just like knowing all the stuff that was going on. And I just wasn't trying to lose my man. Like, we had just started, y'all.
And what was I? Dumb and delusional.
We're gonna call her Sarah. This girl literally went and like screenshotted the picture of me flipping over the phone showing that CJ was who I wanted. She was like, yeah, you don't want to mess with CJ. CJ still wants me. That's mine, but he's not even all that. But if you want him for real, you can have him. That's basically what she said. I read this and I was like, hey, wow, already? I thought you was alias. Turns out a lot of people like knew him, Babuki. It was too late. That was already my man. Basically, what Sarah was trying to do, Sarah was trying to like befriend me so we could bond over that boy playing the both of us. That's what she was trying to do. And I was not going for none of that. I already had loyal friends. I still have loyal friends. I don't want to be friends with someone that used to have this boy before me or with any boy that I had before. What sense does that even make? A lesson of advice to you. You don't befriend the people that was with your man. Anybody that did something with your man, that's not your friend. So I'm telling my cousin everything that I just read, like how this girl basically is talking about some, oh, your man is really not your man for real. And I'm like, bro, like, so what's tea? And my cousin confirms, like, yeah.
She's really crazy, but Noah Hende probably was still messing, but like it's not that deep. Just talk to him about
Like, she was just trying to play mediator. And I was just like, you know what? I don't even want to believe that my man is this type of person. I don't. That shit corrupt me. But we digress. I'm messaging Sarah back and forth, and I basically told her, oh, girl, I don't really care what you're saying. That's still my man. I'm still going to stay with him. So, yeah. Like a dummy. Like a dummy, y'all. I wanted one up on that boy that broke my heart so bad that I went through a whole nother heartbreak because I was trying to prove a point to someone that didn't even know a point was being proven to. Self-esteem really goes a long way. If I had really loved myself and really thought of myself highly at that time,
Because I was cosplaying like I did.
but if I really did, please, I would have freed that boy immediately. New me can't mess with old me because I don't even have interest in none of these boys. I argued with that girl for a cool like hour. She had even made a group chat with her friends and everything for a cool hour. I got on the phone with that boy that night and I asked him, I'm like, so who is Sarah? Sarah texted me. He was like,
oh my gosh, Sarah texted you? Don't believe her, she crazy.
basically saying the same thing that my cousin had said. So I just let it slide. Like a dummy, like, y'all, I took that boy back the same night. Quick as I don't know what. No, he was laughing at me. I know he was laughing at me because one thing a man gonna do, he gonna laugh at you when you try and act like you're all that, and when they realize that you're stupid. Like, I didn't know what I was gonna tell my homegirls, because even though I acted like I was all that in a bag of chips,
My homegirls was really all that in a bag of chips.
and every day in the cafeteria we go eat some lunch, y'all. I promise you, we'd always talk about like boys and, you know, who we was talking to and who's getting asked out next and this and the third, because all my friends had boyfriends at the time except for me and my other friends. Even like my nerd friends, they had boyfriends too. I was the only one in these useless talking stages back to back, y'all. Like, I couldn't catch a break, and it was my fault because I was entertaining that stuff. Nevertheless, I was like, bro, what am I even gonna tell my friends? Like, they're gonna look at me as if I'm dumb if they find out that I took this boy back. So my conscience ate me up. I told my friends what happened at the lunch table. I was eating my little chicken nuggets and fries, and I said, look, I took that boy back after he played in my face, y'all. Forgive me. They looking at me like,
You took him back? You took him back? You're a dummy.
I let them laugh at me. I let them call me a dummy, all that, because that's what I needed. I went home that day. I texted him. I said, CJ, baby, this not gonna work. That's why it's so good to have friends around you that really want it well for you, y'all. Because if you have friends that are as stupid as you gonna forever be a dummy. At this point, I started focusing on DeAndre. Me and DeAndre was good. DeAndre had even forgot about how I lied to him. I got caught up with another man. DeAndre let it slide because DeAndre was a good guy. Actually, no, he wasn't. My tolerance for DeAndre was not the same as my tolerance for whatever that boy's name is. Now it's like my birthday month now, and I forgot about everything that's going on. I'm just focusing on DeAndre and the other boys that I was talking to, because I was talking to a lot of boys. I was talking to all these boys. I was not even linking them, but I was just doing my time on FaceTime with all of these boys. Tell me why, like, after my birthday, y'all, I got into a horrible car accident, and I basically almost died. Story time on that if y'all want that, but I basically almost lost my life in a car accident, and, like, everybody found out that I almost died. And that's when the boys started rolling in again.
And let's not get it twisted. I was not a boy crazy girl that, like, didn't have a dad and this, that, and the third, y'all. I was just really heartbroken from that first boy. And honestly speaking, all these words are making me even forget why I was heartbroken, to the point where I had forgot about old boy that broke my heart, like, in the very, very beginning of the year. So I was just talking to people for fun. No, I never linked them. No, I never did anything with them. But Buki, I was a FaceTime warrior. Next.
I know when something vulnerable happened, and that's when another person usually tries to, like, use that as a way to, like, get their man back or get their girl back. If you do that, you're a horrible person, because why would you try and comfort someone and, like, try and comfort them at their lowest, and it's not genuine? It's just because you want to go back to the way things were. Like, that's what people like to do a lot, and it's just like, why would you do that? Of course, I was a victim. I fell for that dumb stuff. I fell for it badly. When I tell y'all, boy, that broke my heart, the reason why I was acting this way spun back. CJ spun back. And all these other boys started coming in the picture, trying to figure out if I'm okay. Are you alive? Are you in the hospital? It was crazy. My phone was so busy, I had to start tallying points off from deleting numbers because it was too much for me, y'all. So, of course, CJ gets back in the picture after a month. He was like,
Hey, like, I heard you got into a car accident. I'm trying to check on you, make sure you're good. Like, you know, God bless your life.
men really know how to get you when they start talking about God. And that's the ones you really have to pay attention to and watch out for, because you can't be talking about God too much and you act the way you do. Nobody's perfect, but don't be doing too much. Clock that. CJ comes back into my life like it's nothing. We're getting on the phone again. He just trying to make sure I'm good, making sure I'm going to physical therapy. Like, he just trying to make sure I'm good. And he also had gotten injured too. So he was bonding over going to PT. Like, we was just... That was just my little shit. CJ was my main, but I had men lined up like dogs. My car accident was a really hard time in my life. So he was there for me, and it was like during that time, DeAndre was not there for me. So he got cut. Like, literally, when he found out I got into a car accident, and that's why I wasn't texting him back, he was just like, oh, are you okay? And I'm like, he was cut. Like, I literally freed him, and I never talked to him again after that. Because what do you... Like, I know you was for entertainment, but if you don't even care about my well-being, you gotta go. That's how CJ became number one and DeAndre got pushed to the side.
Not only did DeAndre get pushed away, but I pushed everybody away because after my car accident, my tolerance for men was very low and I just was not worried about them like I was before. I had already gotten over everything and I just didn't care no more.
So now me and CJ, we're talking for real. And them high school little relationships, they were so dumb because you could be talking to someone for months. You would never even go on a date with them. But you've been to their house and you've met their mom and did this and that, but you've never actually been on a date with them. So like me and CJ, we had never been on a date yet, but like, y'all, I wasn't even stressing it because neither of us had cars, so it was just like, yeah. And my driving had even got delayed because my car accident, and it was just like, bro, I wasn't gonna come pick you up anyway, so it's just like, you know, it was just one of those. That's when May come around, y'all. That's when May come around. Y'all know when something really bad happens to you with a guy, you gonna remember the days that you couldn't eat, sleep, or drink anything, y'all.
May 30th was the day for me.
I was at work, but I was still on the phone with him because, you know, I told y'all we would sleep and wake up on the phone. So I was still on the phone with him while I was making money for our family, y'all. He's like,
Hey, boy, I'm gonna go to my homeboy's house. I'm really excited. I haven't seen my homeboy in so long.
I'm like, okay, Bookie, like, go to your homeboy's house. Let me know how it is. Just have your fun. He had too much fun. He went to his homeboy's house. I'm at work, and that's when my cousin texts me again. It's always my cousin. My cousin's always texting me. It's the same cousin from last time. She's like, Julian, my heart sinks because I already know it's something with that boy. Because if it was really something that wasn't important, you would have said it already. That's why I don't like when people just text me my name.
I think I'm about to lose another nigga when you do that, so don't be texting my name.
My cousin texts me, and she's like, you need to free CJ right now. I'm like, who needs to free CJ? Who? Him? Her? You?
Cause not me. Why would I be freeing CJ? Like, are you cool?
Why would I be freeing CJ? She's like,
I can't tell you, but I just know you need to free him. Like, this is not gonna work.
I'm like, well, can you at least tell me what it's about?
You know how CJ said he was gonna have fun? He was gonna go to his homeboy's house?
In my head, I'm like, how do you even know that? She was
Like, well, he did go to his homeboy's house.
we're gonna call my cousin's friend Tatiana. She's like,
Tatiana also had some fun too because she went over there too.
and I'm like, okay, she went over there. For who?
She went over there for CJ. It was a two-man baby. You got played.
I'm trying to get every detail in the book so I can really like paint this picture. I was hurt. I was embarrassed, and I knew I couldn't tell my friends. And I knew what my friends would tell me. I found this out at work, y'all. I could not make another sandwich. I told them I was sick and I went home early. Like, I was weak in my knees. I didn't know what to do, and I was just so disappointed. I was just like, dang, like, I really gave you another chance. You really play me like this? You really play me like this? What did I do to deserve this? Hurt was an understatement of how I felt, y'all.
I felt like I was backstabbed, flipped around, and thrown into the bushes by this boy.
He basically cheated on me with this girl that was not even that cute. Like, I was just like, bruh, couldn't even find a bad bitch. Somebody that was kind of like on my level. I was like, I could have been like, okay, that kind of made sense. Because remember, y'all, Sarah, she was not cute. Tatiana was not cute either. So it was just like, bro, really? At this point, I had gained some sense, bro. But I'm not going to lie. I had ran out of all the niggas. I did not have that many to choose from. I didn't even have variety. I knew I was going to be bored. Like, I knew, like, bro, now I'm not going to have no entertainment. Now I'm going to be bored. He was like,
Well, like, give me another chance. I guess we know what it looks like. Let me just explain.
I'm like, baby, mute, hush, and close your lips. The first time I let it slide, but again, and I found out, have her. So I went about my business and I went to go enjoy my summer. Like, I even forgot about that boy. I didn't cry because I knew I wasn't shit, but it was just like, for you to not be shit and I found out about it twice, you gotta go. Nevertheless, y'all, that whole entire summer, CJ spent trying to get me back, I promise you. He spent the whole summer fighting for my love, and I just wasn't going for it. And he would just be like over-explaining himself, saying stuff that I didn't ask for. All it takes is a man to talk, and you're quiet, and he'll snitch on himself every time. So he was just giving me the confirmation that I needed, that he wasn't the one for me, like, at all. Like, he would give his cousins the phone, and his cousins was from Africa, so they wasn't even speaking English, but I could understand. Whatever they were saying meant that he wanted me back. Clock that. Nevertheless, guys, it's a whole new school year now. It's like senior year. I'm not even worried about CJ. I forgot about CJ because a new boy has even come into my life, and I'm just not worried about CJ. Tell me why. I get word that Tatiana wants to fight me over CJ. And we did fight. And y'all just gonna have to check out part 2 because what?
Let me just clear something up before y'all go ahead and watch part 2. I didn't know that Tatiana wanted to fight me over CJ until after I fought her. She was just acting weird to me beforehand, and she was talking about me. And I didn't know why she was talking about me because we were mutuals beforehand. I told you my cousin was her close friend, so by default, we were already mutuals. We all went to the same school. Until one day I found out that she was talking mess about me. I retaliated back. Next thing you know, we fighting. Then I find out later that it was really about CJ. When CJ was a whole, like, 4 or 5 niggas ago, like, I wasn't even worried about CJ no more.